Hey guys, welcome back to Tethan Props. My name is Jeremy and today I'm going to show you how I went about making the Devil You Know from Destiny. So this is a highly sought after hand cannon in the game. In my opinion, it's pretty good looking. So let's get to it, to how I made it. The overall build for this, I'd give it a difficulty of about 4 out of 5 Thors. So it's not super difficult, but again, it's got a lot of intricate parts which take a lot of detail, and also the painting, it's got to be spot on to make it look weathered, make it look real, and in the end, it ends up looking pretty nice. Let's go to the build order. I got the 2D files from Buildaran over at Punish Props. I'll put the link to his site below, so you can go and grab the files yourself. Print these out on a regular printer, A4, sticky tape them together, and then you can go along with an X-Acto knife and cut out the designs. The next thing you want to do is trace that onto some EVA foam. These are good because they're thick, they're really inexpensive, and they're pretty strong. So to do this hand cannon, you can see it's a little bit thicker. I sandwiched 2 pieces together, glued them together to give me a thicker piece. So once you have that thicker piece glued together and your design drawn out, you want to go along with your really sharp knife and cut it out. So to make the gun barrel, I took a similar method. I stacked up about 5 sheets of the EVA foam and then just went about cutting out, making it cylindrical, and taking my Dremel tool and shaping it to the right shape. So using those original files of the gun, you can now start to trace out the inner details, and what you do with those is you just start building up the layers and the layers all over the gun, and this gives it the 3D effect and also gives you all the little intricate parts of the gun that are there. So you can see that over the whole entire gun there's lots of different layers, so it's a long process of tracing out little parts, cutting them out, gluing them on and sanding them, making sure there's a nice transition between the parts. So once you've built the whole body of the gun, now it's time to start painting. But the first thing you want to do with any kind of EVA foam is just heat seal it with a heat gun. So you just put the heat gun up as high as you can, seal the whole thing. This just closes the pores of the EVA foam and just makes it easy to paint. First step of painting was to cover it in Plastidip. So this seals the outside foam and gives it kind of a flexible, because it is EVA foam, so it's not entirely rigid, but the Plastidip gives it a flexible base coat that you can paint on top of. So once you've coated it in Plastidip, I then coated the entire thing in gloss black, let that dry, and then taped off the acquired areas that I wanted to keep black, and then spray painted the rest in metallic silver. We had the black handles and black details up here, the silver body. It was time to put on these Vanguard stencils here. So to do that, I just took masking tape, masked up the specific areas, and then sprayed those with the orange, let that dry, masked off again, and sprayed the wide areas. will look like a brand new gun fresh out of the shop, but that's not how we want to keep our weapons. We want to make them look weathered, used, battered, and it gives it a really nice effect. So to do that, I took my acrylic paints. I used a combination of black and various different browns. So the technique for doing this is to just rub it into the grooves, splosh it around as randomly as you possibly can, and then go back with a towel and just wipe away any excess. And this leaves an accumulation of the paint in all the grooves, which represents the dirt that you would have a build up in a regular gun. If you just continue to do this for the whole gun, eventually it turns out like this and makes it look really nice. So once you've done the darks, then I went back with silver paint and a silver Sharpie pen and just touched up the highlights of any areas where you would get sort of some rubbing off of the paint or some scratching. So that's on the high areas, and that just gives a good definition between the high areas, the regular base, and then the dark coats that you put in. So once you've completed all that, give it a clear coat. This makes sure it seals everything in and then your paint won't rub off. So just as a little added bonus with this gun, I made a stand for it. So this stand again is just out of EVA foam sheets, stacked a couple together and made my little details. So a little pillar for the gun to rest on and a little socket for it here. So it sits in there quite nicely. It's not bad. I did the same weathering details, so I cut in some battle damage, gave it a bit of a rust effect with more of the orange colors and some blacks in the grooves just to represent grease, dirt. This front panel here, I just got off the Destiny game. It's just got the stats of the devil you know and my logo. This gun's turned out pretty good. I'm happy with how it looks, especially with the stand. I think it gives it a nice little touch. So there you have it, the devil you know from the game Destiny. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, head over to my Facebook page and like, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time.